What's up, and welcome to another episode of Black in the Maritimes. And I got a special guest with us. We got a DJ, producer, cultural specialist, we might be able to say, and healthcare worker as well. We got Mour Debadir, also known as DJ Mobaus. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good, and you. Thank you for the invitation. It's my
Thank you for
pleasure.
thank you for being here, man. So, tell us a bit about you. Where did you grow up, and how was that?
I grew up in Benin. It's a small country from West Africa, and it's well known as a voodoo house because during the slave period, like a lot of slave come from out my country and go to 80 different country, and we have like the same culture. Yes, but I come from Benin.
Wow,
It's
so it's where voodoo was invented.
Yes, it's literally like the voodoo house. Like every 10 January, like we have like a voodoo day, and it's a big thing. Like you can just, if you put Benin, Benin, you put it on Google, you go on Wikipedia, is like in the first 5 or 10 line, you will see that.
Okay, so people that don't know about voodoo, and you come from the place that voodoo was invented, can you like explain a bit of what it is?
What is it is voodoo. It's like, to be honest with you, my parent, I grew up in a Muslim family, and but voodoo is how can I say, it's like our ancestral, like it's our ancestral god. It's like our traditional god, and it's like we have I'm not a big special, but I know like we have like a thunder god, a water god, different kind of god, and we pray them differently. But there is also in that culture like only one god. But the thing is, we have like different god to have access to what we need. And but the thing is, as everything, like as a knife or as this cup that you can use to drink, to take your tea, you can just use it to like kill someone or hurt someone else. So people can just use it to do like a bad stuff or a good stuff. Yes.
It's funny that you say that because I read about voodoo before because I'm from the Dominican Republic and right next to it
Oh,
there's Haiti, and people say that in Haiti they do voodoo,
yes.
and I had to kind of voodoo. The people think is witchcraft, which is two different things. It's not.
Definitely,
Yeah, it's two different
definitely,
things, and the people don't
definitely.
understand that it's two different things. And I pretty much had to learn that it's like voodoo is like Greek mythology that they have different kinds of gods.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. It only that it has different gods, and they pray to those gods, and they do rituals to those gods. So it's like the same thing
Exactly.
in
Yes.
Norway. It's just in Africa, and people think it was witchcraft, which is it's a different thing. But yeah, it's kind of cool that you clarify that because a lot of people, as soon as they think it's voodoo, they think witchcraft, and it's like no, none.
And
That's not it.
and just to let you know, like in Benin, in my country, like with voodoo, the traditional culture, even if you go in Haiti, like they can heal like some disease, like we have like they can heal like AIDS, like you can have like a lot of benefits with that. And just a small story, during like the slavery time, like it's like it's, I don't know how to say correctly in English, but there's like a two slavery history in Africa. There's like one with the Catholic people, and another one with the Muslim people. And for the Muslim, in Muslim religions, anybody who is Muslim, you can be white, black, Chinese, or whatever. When you are a Muslim, you can't be any more slave. So like a lot of black people, when they know that and they have the choice to pick between like their religion or go to be like deport to another country and be a slave, they just, okay, I'm gonna become a Muslim. And me, yes, I'm a Muslim, but my what my parents teach me is to not forget where I come from, what is my historic, and I am Beninese, and like voodoo is part of my life, even if I'm a Muslim.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So, how was growing as a child in Benin? Like, how was that? How was that about? Like,
I will say, to be honest with you, I was a little bit lucky because I grew up in like my family was a financially like stable, so I didn't have like that much like difficult child life. But in general, like it's real like I would say like we live by sport. Like young people, we live by it a soccer. We play like soccer. Like let's say like if I'm living right now, like let's say on Antonin Maé and the road after is Somerset, like the kid from Antonin Maé can play vase like Somerset. It's like really like a really good atmosphere. Like it's yeah, it's mainly that I can say. I don't know.
Okay, no, I get it. You play sports like football, which is
Soccer,
soccer
yeah.
or football. Yeah, it's a very well. We just had the African Cup of Nations, which congratulations to Senegal that just won
Yes,
the
yes,
cup.
yes, yes. I just watched it. I was so stressed, Jesus.
Yeah,
But I felt a little bit sad because like the other team also play really good. So it's Africa who is winning. So
yeah. The really both good teams. Egypt was a great thing. So, how long did you live in Benin for? So, high schools, university.
I moved in Canada. Let's say I spent like 19 years in Africa and I moved here. And I would say I spent 19 years in Benin.
Okay, so you went to high school there.
Exactly. It's after my high school. I just stayed for 1 year and then I came here.
So how was high school in Benin? Like how was the school system?
You know, it's really like strong. Like I'm gonna say it's like really like old school. Maybe now it changed, but from my time, it's already like the teacher will beat like you.
Wow.
If you do something, the teacher will beat you. Your parents will come and they will beat you too in front of the class. It was like a really like straight a education environment. I learned a lot, but as on everything, there is like a bad and a good side. So just to put like one good side, like the education, like to be honest with you, it's really, really, really good education, like. But the bad side is sometimes uh like they just leave our culture, like learn about like we don't really know that much about our country or Africa. We learn more about like Europe culture, I would say in general. Maybe I just have like 2 or 3 classes for my country or Africa.
Oh, really? I mean that's kind of strange, and I heard this said before by other people that that's part of colonization. Like that,
Exactly.
like
Because our school system it's based on France, because we are an old a colonized like a country from France. So like we many like it's like a little bit copy paste from France to Benin with a small modification.
yeah, that's I heard a lot of African countries, and which is funny. I met somebody that has studied in Africa and in Europe, and he said like when you go to, I think he studied in Cote d'Ivoire, if I'm not
Cote d'Ivoire,
mistaken,
yeah, Ivory Coast.
and he studied in Belgium as well.
Yes,
So he tells me that if you go to Cote d'Ivoire, you learn a lot of French history and French stuff,
exactly.
but not a lot of Cote d'Ivoire. But if you go to Belgium or France, you don't learn anything about Africa. Like they
Exactly.
don't even they don't even recognize that they colonized and they did all these things.
Exactly. And that is it's really sad because like to be honest with you, we have like a really like strong historic, and there is like some stuff that they didn't tell us about like our like during the slave a part, like how like because we have like in Africa before like colonization it was like king time, right? So we have like king of Benin, king of this, king of that, and some king fight against like slavery, right? So like they didn't like tell us really like all this story. We learned mostly about like the first war, the second war, like the Europe culture, like Moliere, this kind of stuff. Yes, but it's really sad. But in other part, in France or Europe, they didn't teach anything about our culture, or Africa. I don't even think like they have like one class who talk about Africa.
Or even the colonization of the countries, which is kind of crazy that to
Exactly.
like they didn't
Exactly.
even get that. And yeah, it is sad. It is kind of sad that, and I think it's changing now in Africa. Like I think I seen schools changing their uniforms and their history and their curriculum to be more.
I think, to be honest with you, maybe you don't if you watch like the actuality, like the news, African news, like our generation right now, they are like it's like a different mindset, and they are trying like to cut everything from the old colonization. Like in less than 1 year, we have like a three, I don't know how to say, like coup d'etat. Like there's like
Yeah, coup, yeah, coup de is a coup, yeah.
exactly, and they refuse like to get like it's like a soft colonization, like Europe people, they will put like one president there to like for the advantage. But at this point, the population, like they our new generation, like definitely want to say no to that. And I think with time, all that will change. I strongly hope that.
Yeah, there seems to be in places like Nigeria some sort of African pride, they call it. Like
Exactly.
they want to make sure that that what's in Africa that stays there and the culture is unique.
Exactly.
And instead what's happening now is that before the European culture exported to Africa, now it's backwards. They're trying the African culture to export to Europe, to export
Exactly.
to
And,
places like
and
that.
it's sporting a lot, like with the music, like you can see like everybody, like it's like Afro music, like everywhere, like you have like a different Afro color, like in like the music area. And also like our African president, the community, they fight to have back like everything that the old colonization like stole from them during like the colonization, like our old like statue, like everything that is stole during the colonization, they are sending it back now. So like my country, Benin, received like I would say like 99% of everything that I take during the slavery time as like statue, like anything that I took, and different country are having it back to. Like I know like England returned some stuff to Nigeria and Ghana, even like US, like it's changing a little bit slowly, slowly.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, hopefully that gets like that. So, were you like you said about because you're a DJ as well? Were it was the music still since you were a kid? Was that a thing that you had before, or
Yes, like the music with me, I would say like when I was a kid, like in high school, I was like I was a lot in the music. I even like rap. I'm 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 thanking God that I never put anything on YouTube, because like right now it'd be like Jesus Lord, I'm not good at all. But I really like love music. And when I came here, to be honest with you, one way that I survived from the anxiety, like being away from my family, it was music who saved me, like with depression, all this kind of stuff. And just to let you know, my first DJ name was Anonymous DJ, because when I came here, my parents, they sent me here to come study, not to become a DJ. So when I start DJing, like everybody was telling like, what's the what? I just put like anonymous because I don't want to be recognized, because my parents will be like really like upset. So is that why? But music, like it's a big part. Like even if you can see, like I have like my
yeah, the
DJ stuff there,
DJ equipment?
and
So
I have
you
like, yeah.
so let's go back. Hold on. You used to rap in school? Like, is that something you used to do?
Yes, yes, yes. I used to rap in school. Like I used to rap. It was me. I have like a small crew. We was like three, and I used to rap small.
What
Like
was the name of the crew? Or what was the name of your rapper name? Because when you usually get a rapper
oh
name.
like like it's like the real gangster of the street, like le vrai gangster de la rue, the real gangster of the ah Jesus Lord. Sometimes I just remember some stuff that we used to do, and just like my God, thank God nobody see that or nobody saved that.
So was hip hop really popular in Benin? Was that something that did?
Yes, right now it like in my time it was like it like in and I like in the 2000 hip hop was like I would say like from 1996 to I would say like 2012 or 2010. Hip hop was the big thing because like we was like looking like to like uh Eminem, 50 Cent, oh, in the club, like R. Kelly, like it was like many hip hop. But right now, with like Nigeria, because like we are just beside Nigeria, we are doing a lot more of Afro now.
Oh wow, that's pretty interesting. So so people were like into hip hop, and now it's getting more
To
into
Afro.
the Afro. That's kind of cool. So you were a musical kid in high school, that like say, and you had your own crew and stuff that, and you play sports. So when high school is over, what made you come to Canada? What was the why Canada out of all places?
Weird story, but what happened is I was supposed to be in China. I was supposed because my parents they traveled to China to make business, and one day I traveled there with my dad. And short story, my dad wanted to stay there, and he asked me what I would like to do, what I would like to study. And at that time, at that age, I didn't really know what to do, and I was more like in soccer. And I say, Dad, I want to be a soccer player. I want you to push me, like find like one school that I can learn like football, like increase my skills. And you know, like me, my parents, they're like really like old school. My dad just looked at me just like, you are a waste. I'm gonna put my money to just to pay you to become like football player just to have fun. I'm not doing that. But now when they are seeing like Mane, Mo Salah, Christian, they're just like, oh Jesus Lord. Yes, but the when I refuse to when I say soccer, my dad said no, I'm not sending you there. Like just come back in Africa. And my sister, my older sister, was here, was in Canada, and she told me like everything is nice here. Like she seemed really happy and independent, and I just like say, okay, I'm gonna try it. So I did everything that I have to do, and I came.
What was she in Moncton, or was she in another place?
She was in Moncton. She was in Moncton. I think she came in 2000. I don't know, 2008 or 2009. She came here. She studied at Moncton University, have her degree in marketing, and then moved to Montreal, and after that in Africa.
Okay, so she's back in Benin now.
Exactly
Okay.
back home.
So what was your first impression when you came? So you came straight to Moncton because that was what you wanted, that because your sister was here.
Exactly
So what was your first impression when you came to Moncton?
what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here. I came, it was, I will never forget, I landed here in 2013, the 28th August 2013. And I just came here, just like, what I'm doing here. And it was in August and I was already cold. And just like, Jesus Lord, what I'm doing here. And this is something that it's really like shocked me is my first class. I was at Moncton University. I would say like the first 2 weeks, I wasn't able to understand anything from like what my teacher was saying because like the French here, it was the French and the accent is not like the pure French as what I was like I learned in Africa. So I had like at least like I would say like a good like 1 month to like switch and correctly understand what they are saying.
Oh wow! So yeah, I heard that. I had a friend that lived in Paris for quite a while, and he toured in Canada, and he said like he had a hard time in New Brunswick because of the accent, He
Yes.
said that Quebec is better to understand because they have
Yes.
a bit, but they still have an accent. That's not
Yes.
the one. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. Now you come here to Moncton. You're like, what are you doing here? Like, so is there a Benin community? Is there a lot of people from your country or?
Yes, there was like I met one, maybe you know him. His name is Jabba, and he's from Benin. And I was like his small kid. Like every time, because we do like the same high school. Maybe he was like grade, let's say, let's say grade 8, and I was like grade maybe 5, and we used to know each other. So when I came here, I slept at his place for maybe like 2 days, and then I went in a residence, Moncton University residence.
Oh, okay. And one of the things that I heard from others, like because there's a lot of francophone countries like Cote d'Ivoire, like Senegal, like you guys can because you guys can communicate with them and kind of like have similar cultures. So I seen that
Exactly.
as well. So you had a good I know there's a good African community here,
Definitely. Yes.
and that was a backup. So what was the things besides the cold, which is the coldest one? What other things were like different that you had to adapt here?
I would say the accent. Right now, I can talk to you even if my English is not perfect. I can talk to you. I can understand you. I can watch a movie. But when I came here, it was. Do you remember? There is one club in downtown named the V.
Yep, I remember the B. Yeah.
It was during that time, and the only one word that I could say I could say in English was, what are you doing after the club? So when I saw one girl after when I finished, when the class is over, I saw I any girl that I see, do you want to hang out? And just like so I have to adapt my language, improve my English, and without that, like I think everything was really like similar. It wasn't like a massive change. I would say also the fact that quickly I realized that I have to be a man and be responsible, right? Be like responsible of what I'm doing. And maybe we will get there, but after I came here in 2013, and let's say I did like 1 year. In 2014, I moved to another residence, and there is like one girl. I every time talk about her, but there is one girl. She was working for Moncton University during that time, and she told me, "Man, you are Muhad, you are an handsome man, but I'm gonna tell you something that you don't realize, like and this is like a white woman that I don't know that we are not like family. She told me, try to dress up like as a, I don't know how to the good word to say it in English, like responsible, like people
Adult,
like
like a responsible adult.
exactly don't like because when I just came, it was like I'm not with my parent. It's hip hop. Like my pants was every time like down, this kind of stuff. And she told me you can be like a super nice guy, you can be like an awesome guy, but people will judge you, will take like the first impression, and you don't want that. And the second thing too, as black, you have like a handicap automatically. So try to dress up correctly. And when she told me that, I took it as an assault, right? And she told me, let's try that for 1 week and see. And I changed the way that I dress up to go to school. I'm not gonna lie, even my teacher, like after like maybe like 3 days, I just realized like a big difference, the way that they approach me as a human. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, and yeah, they're dressed to impress, and that was a good advice. Now, because I'm assuming you were really young then, you took it as a, but yeah, that's as you get older, you kind of take it like, oh, okay, this is
Exactly.
how the world works. Which is one of like it's kind of funny because you said like she told you like because you're a black man, you have a handicap, which is you kind of realize that immediately. A lot of people don't understand that, but you kind of understand it as the days go by.
Exactly. And just to let you know, like me, I never like in Africa, as you know, it's like the majority of people there, it's black. So I don't have to like I don't have like any weird eyes against me or something like that. But when I came, let's say for my first year, I just like had like some uh situation. And now when I look it back, I just realized that those people are just like racist or mean to me just for free, you know? And with a little bit of knowledge, I just realized like that was racism, and it was uh, and that made me like realize that I'm in a different world. And by what you are saying, like as a adaptation that I have to do, I realize that I'm in a different world, and I have to make attention to what I'm doing. Because if I did something wrong, I don't have like another chance, you know. So
Yeah, and that's what you think. Like I hear this from a lot, especially people that have traveled to Africa, about black people that have been to like South Africa, Nigeria, Tanzania, places like when you go to Africa, nobody realizes that they're black.
exactly,
Nobody realizes that's like they're like, oh, like you're just another person there. Like it doesn't
exactly.
that
They,
that
they don't even they don't give I don't want to say big, but they don't really care who you are. You're just gonna pass like a random people, you know, nobody will care about you, you know.
you could curse here, by the way, so no problem. You could curse this is a podcast, but yes, but that's what the people tell, like everybody's black. Like nobody thinks like there's not nobody thinks that. But when you come to America,
Yes,
it's either you notice or somebody's gonna make you notice.
definitely.
Somebody's gonna make you notice that you're black. Somebody's gonna think you're
Exactly.
like you're not from here, or at least we don't think you're from here.
And I'm just going to tell you something. 90, I would say 95% of students who came here, people make them notice that they are not, people make them notice they are black, you know, by experience, definitely. And when you notice that, you just like, okay, I have to know how to put my step out.
Well, there's this funny story. I have a friend from St. John. His family lived from St. John. They're black. They're what you would call black loyalists. They've been here for hundreds of years.
Yes.
And every time he goes, it's like, where are you from? St. John. No, no, no. Where are you really from? St. John. Where's your mom from? St. John. Where's your grandma from? St. John. Like it's we've never been out of here. Like we're from
exactly.
here. But because he's black, he's like, oh wait, they don't some people don't comprehend that there's
Exactly.
black people here, and there's
Here.
people that and you know we're the same as you. We just happen to have a melatonin skin, right? But they don't see it like some people don't see it like that.
They don't understand that like there is like more than 2 or 3 generations of black people who have been living here before. And what I learned is there was during, I don't know which war it was, but like there was a black people who was living here like after the Second War apparently, and then they moved them to Halifax, something like that. But black people was here like way
I can tell you this, black people have been here since the 1700s. Yes, they've been in New Brunswick since there remained black people since the 1700s. The first black business in New Brunswick was in the 1800s.
This 1600.
Yeah, 1700s.
Jesus.
The first registered black business that we can see was a saloon from a black person. He was an ex-slave, and he was in 1867.
Wow.
So there's been black people for hundreds of years. There's 6-7 generations of black people from New Brunswick, not Halifax, not Nova Scotia, which Nova Scotia has a richer history, but there has been people here for hundreds of years. So there's not a lot of them, but there are. And there's hundreds of them, not thousands, and probably hundreds of them, maybe thousands, who knows, but there has been. And again, it's hard to comprehend because people don't don't see it like that, and
Exactly.
that's part of the whole thing. But having that said, like, when was your experience? Like you said that you realized that you had experience with racism. What experience do you remember here that happened to you, or that you reminded that that you can recall that said, oh wait, this is, or like, oh, I'm black, or they make you feel that way?
I can tell you a lot, but I'm just gonna tell you the first one, and it's after like with a little bit like of self thinking. I just like that was, I can call that racism. Like when I came here in 2013 to 28 August, and 1 week after I have to start the school, and I didn't really know about the Moncton University. Like I didn't know like where is the faculty. So I get lost, let's say for the first 2 days, and the next week I have like to do like one laboratory, and the teacher say, okay, because there was another girl who was there and she was late like me. So the teacher put us together in the same team to work for the lab. We did the first lab. And just to let you know, the first lab, it's just like something that I already do in Africa. It did in Africa in the past. So it was really, 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 really easy. We did everything. We worked together. It was good. And we even have like A plus. The next class, the girls in like go see the teacher and ask the teacher to change a partner for no reason. And what happened and shocked me is the teacher, instead of just try to know like what happened or if I did something wrong or whatever, he don't even try to like do anything and ask in public who want to switch partner with that girl and me in front of everybody in class. I felt really, really shocked. That day, I feel it like and we switched a partner. And after that, like in 2017, this girl and me, we was still in the same class. And in 2017, I was the president of kinesiology faculty. And I just told her, do you remember what you did when, for our first class in when we was at Remy? And she said yes. And she said she's from Bathurst. And she said what they usually hear is like black people don't really like work really hard, blah blah blah. We are lazy and this and that. And she wanna go to maid school, and she don't want me to affect her score because we are working in the team. And I just like, even the first lab that we did, I basically like do everything, like all the math, it's me who did it. So, and she apologized and say, oh, like, I just like, it's what I hear from people from where I come from. And I just take that for fact. And I just get scared because I want to have a really a good grade to go like in medicine, blah, blah. Is that why? And it's like, and she apologized. But for example, that's something like I can call racism. And the meanest stuff is the fact that my teacher in that time didn't like do anything for that. And it was really insulting for me when we just switched a group in class. So people was thinking that I wasn't smart or I was weird or something like that. Anyways, but yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a crazy, that is a crazy story. And I mean, and the funny thing is that in somehow, some way, we kind of go, all people of color usually go through some of these things,
Yeah.
which is like, it's kind of crazy that, when people say there's no racism, or they're like, well,
Who said
yes,
that?
no, some white, mostly white people, but it's kind of funny because you tell them like, yeah, you say it because this has never happened to you, right?
Exactly.
You have no idea that this is happening because it's never affected you. It's like, for example, when we see like people dying, or like children, kids dying from hunger, or people in places, you're like, why don't they get a job? You're like, well, because there is no jobs or there is no
Exactly.
food, but it doesn't happen to you, so you're not affected by it.
You
So
don't
it's
you don't know this reality.
exactly, so it's unaffected. So, but I still yet to meet somebody that directly and indirectly, if they're in New Brunswick or in Nova Scotia or PEI or Newfoundland or any part of Atlantic Canada, that hasn't been faced with racism in some way or another, some a little bit indirect way, like, oh, you didn't get this job, and you're like, wait a minute, I kind of qualified, and everybody's kind of like, this is a job, and you're like, well, but can you tell me why? Well, it's because we didn't think you were the right fit. And then you see somebody else that had a less resume than you that has it, and you're like, wait a minute. And
Exactly.
sometimes it lets you doubt, like, was it you? Was it like indirectly? And there's the direct way, like what this person directly told you, like
Exactly.
what it was, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. It's like, this doesn't seem to add up. And it is kind of crazy that people get judged for the color of their skin, even if they're because again, there might be somebody that might be lazy, somebody, like, people are lazy, that's a common thing.
Exactly. You can be like red, black, yellow.
Yeah,
Some
that doesn't
people
mean
like,
anything.
if there is some people who is chubby, there's some people who is lazy, there's some people who have big nose. Like, I don't understand why people want to like put a black people in one category as like under race, you know.
Well, it's part of racism and colonization. Like again, I think part of it is that because of black people were colonized for so long, they were made understood, especially white people were made understood, that they were a superior race.
Exactly.
This is a misconception, because again, I could be way smarter than you, have PhDs, have millions of dollars, and be richer, or whatever, economically, physically, financially. I could be richer than you in so many ways,
Exactly.
but somebody made you think that because of the color of your skin, you're automatically superior, which is
Exactly.
not really the case. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of one of the experience in New Brunswick. So once you did you when you got experiences, like, did you talk to other people within your community that they experienced the same, or did you ever talk about it and people were like, okay, it has happened to me too, or was it something that you never talked about?
No, I never really talk about it because I, I when I from I would say like from 2013 to 2016, I was doing like mainly like my school stuff, my music. So even if I leave something difficult, I didn't like tell anybody because it wasn't like really the plan. And also during that time, I wasn't like thinking like staying here. So I wasn't really like implicate in the community here. So like I didn't really care. But after 2016, I just start realizing like some stuff, and like this is something that you can even find online. I think it's 2016 or 17 or 15, around that time. Like I was a DJ. I finished the DJ at the Rouge, and I had like one friend who asked for a drive, and I said, okay, no problem, I'm gonna give you the drive. And we was walking like in front of the Rouge, and there was like one homeless guy, a white homeless guy who was just there in the cold and was asking for money. And I was just like, I don't have any money, man. Like, I don't have any money. Like, I'm gonna give you tomorrow because it was Friday. I'm gonna give it to you tomorrow. And my friend that I was giving the drive to, he's a black guy like me, and just like, and he told me, you know what? You don't have to give these kind of people like money because like they are white, they receive money, they receive this, they receive that. And I just realized even in my community, there's some people who are a little bit like, I'm not gonna say racist, but it kind of look like that. And I just like, okay, I feel I have to do something to try to change it. So that day, the next day I put out a Facebook to like to collect a food, clothes, like it worked really mass. We feel like to you all and like collect almost like 8,000, and we bring it to Maison de Nazareth. It go on the news. So beginning on 2016, I just start like talk about it, have a real action to fight it. So yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's definitely something that the community service. Now, you said that your plan wasn't to stay here. What was the plan? Like, what was the end goal?
The end goal was to come here, study, and have an experience and just live. It, even now, even like the plan, because when I was coming here, my parents say, okay, we are sending you to Canada to have a better education, to be able like to have like a better laboratory, different, and with having a degree from Canada, you're coming back to Benin with a degree from Canada, you will have like a better opportunity to be like minister or something like that. And everything changed now, because before it was no way I have to go back. Now I'm plus more like staying here or maybe go back, but it's like 85% staying here.
And what made you change that decision? Like, what was the change of plan?
Because I just realized that Jesus, that's a really good question. I I don't know. In 2016, when I start to like be more involved in the community, I just realized that I'm starting to have like some space here. And with what I'm seeing in this area, let's say like in New Bronx, I would say like in Moncton, I just realized like if nobody stay as a international like French student to do like to do some stuff, like our life will never change. That's the first thing. And the other stuff is I just realized that like no matter where I will go, if I don't fight for something, where gonna be the point? Because I could just go back to Africa now, and my parent with their contact, they can help me like have a really good position, and I will start like really good career. But me staying here, making a difference or try to make a difference, it's giving me like more value. So it's mainly that I'm more like in that perspective, that the fact that like I know it may be not gonna be like easier, but at least I'm gonna make something different for my for Black community here in particular and in general.
Yeah, and that's a good angle to see it, because I think it's needed, not just for you per se, but there's a, like I said, there is a generation of people that are coming that are maybe just like you, and now those people can have something to relate to, and you can, like I said, make a difference, make your presence felt, it's definitely a good thing that you're thinking that way, because I think in this place of the country, in this part of the country, I think it's highly needed. So going back to that, so let's get back to a happier subject, which is music. you're,
Yes.
you're like, when did you actually start DJing?
Oh, what happened is I was every time in when I just came, I'm you may be not recognize it, but I'm a really shy guy. I'm a really shy person. And my friend used to do like Jabba, the one that tell you about. He usually make like a house party. So because I'm the shyest one, I'm just like there with the computer, just putting like one music A, one music B, and I become like the DJ for all the after party or home party. So there is one guy, his name is William, and he used to make like events here, William and Alpha. But and they say, okay, I'm just gonna give you the opportunity and start like be the DJ for our event. So it's like that. I start slowly, like when we have like African uh, events, I'm gonna be the DJ. And I was really lucky. I met a really nice guy. His name is Sonny D. He was the DJ at the Rouge, and he teach me some stuff. Sonny D Classo. I don't know if you know Classo.
Yeah, I remember Glasso. Yeah, Sunny D. He does ECG radio with me. So shout out to Sunny.
Oh, really? Yeah,
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 we
yeah.
do East Coast Group Radio.
He was the thing because he took me. He don't even see like you don't even check if I was black, Chinese, or whatever. Just like, okay, man, because we used to do like the African night at the Rouge on Sunday, and one day just okay, you have to do this, do that, and learn that. And slowly, 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 I was really sad when he left the Rouge. He was a really good teacher.
Yeah. Sonny's it's a great guy. He's one of very very good friend of mine. Which is it's funny. I remember those nights because I used to go to Rouge a lot. That's where because I'm very interested in the electronic music. I do I promote electronic music events and that's where you should hear it. And I remember sometimes I crossed on Sundays and it was full of black people. I'm like, whoa,
Exactly.
it's
What's
like
going on?
it's like what's going on? I never seen this many black people here, and I'm like, whoa, and he told me like, oh, this is an African party every Sundays, and it used to be packed. And I was like, whoa,
Yes.
and now it has evolved that now there is an African more centric club. Shout out to Isaac, which
Yes.
is a little bit more. It seems like the community is growing,
Yes.
which is a good thing compared to like. And I remember Alpha because I knew we used to work together. He used to tell me like, "Oh, we used to do this because that's the only day that they gave us." And I was like,
Exactly.
"Really?" I was like, "Really?" Like, "Oh yeah, they only gave us that day, and we did it that day." And I was like, "Wow!" But it's packed. It's like, "Yeah, I mean, we get the whole room full of people." So you started DJing there, and I know you for a brief while you left to Montreal. I think.
Yes. What happened is I start DJ there at the Rouge, and I'm just gonna make a small parenthesis for the Cosmo because you know there is something who is really important in this life. If you are not like I don't know how to say reconnaissant. If you don't recognize when someone do something good to you, like it's not good. There is this guy that everybody insult, even me. I'm not happy about him. I just think he just like stupid.
Jeff.
Jeff.
Shout out to Jeff. Yeah, he's quite a
I,
character.
I'm not gonna lie. He's special. He's really really special. But he's the guy who give me my chance to be like a permanent DJ in one club here. I used to play for him from 10 to 12 Friday, Saturday, and he paid me $60 during that time. And after maybe like 2 months, I start paying like one full night on two, like every Friday. But he's the one who gave me my chance. And just in that bracket, Jeff, he's maybe a little bit racist, but I'm just gonna say like he's more like, let's say stupid, because he gave me my chance and he was really nice to me.
Well, the thing with Jeff, and this is what people may not understand, is that there's different kinds of racism. Like racism is not just one thing. Like there's systemic racism, which is the system. Like you
Yes.
can't see systemic racism. You can't see it. You can't hear it. You can't because it's integrated in a system that we live every day, and it affects a certain part of people of color.
Yeah.
Like for example, where there was laws that people couldn't borrow any money to get businesses. Like
Exactly.
black people couldn't live in certain places in the place. Like this is a system, right? That put in, and there's direct racism and there's the superiority, like the like see like the thing with Jeff is that he will make black people work for him or maybe have, but he will always think he's superior
Yes.
because he's white.
Exactly.
And that's the part of racism that he
But
kind of portrays.
but to be honest with you, like I saw many stuff that he did, like many way that he talked, even like during like 2019 when we do like the Black Lives Matter walk and he start like saying like bullshit. I'm gonna say something. For the time that I was working for him, that I was working there, maybe he was thinking and he was still my boss, but he never make me feel like under. He treat me well. I'm gonna be honest with that. So, and also you say something that you are in electronic music. Jeff, it because of him that I start loving like everything like I'm just gonna show you my pad here. Like this, I use this to compose
an MPC.
Exactly. And what change that I had is this. For the fact that I play at Cosmo for let's say like 6 months, like because I'm here like from September to May for school time, and during the summer I go to Montreal. That gives me opportunity to play in many, many, many clubs in Montreal because I was able to play African music and I was able to play like house music, like house, like deep house electronic. And in 2015, Fidel, I'm gonna tell you, I was the thing that summer because I was everywhere. And that summer, because I was staying with my friend place, I play like from Wednesday to Sunday. And that summer, I make almost like 15,000. I came back like, let's say 15,000 in cash in my bank account just for being like DJ in Montreal. And yeah, so that was crazy. And there's like some people who give me like an opportunity to become like a permanent DJ in Montreal, and I refused because the main reason why I came here was for school, and my parents, they're gonna be really upset if I didn't even have like my degree, this kind of stuff. But after that, in 2019, I moved back to Montreal to start my master, and I start DJing for a one club. It's like a really like big club in Montreal. It's a candy bar, and I just came back because of the COVID. And I also realized this. I'm gonna be honest. I just realized that like Moncton, even if it's like a little bit difficult, for me, I love like the way it is because maybe I just get used to smaller country. Is that why I came back? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, and I think it's I call sometimes Moncton has the potential to be like a mini Montreal. I think sometimes
Exactly.
there is a potential with that. Now you also like you said you also did events as well, and you told me that you did a couple of events here as well. Tell us a little bit about that as well.
Oh, like I have I like right now, like before the African club, we have like one African club here, and I'm really like happy for that. But before that, I was every time the one who usually make like the event at the Rouge, like for Afro, because the guy who usually make it, they don't make it anymore. So I start making it, and now I just like switch uh vision, and I start like one event on the rooftop of the Dolma. During the summer, it was like Montreal, Quebec vibe. You listen a little bit to the house, Afro, like on the rooftop music, you eat. And I did that. And I also, right now, the big project that I'm working on right now is the Afrofest. I'm planning, and in God name, in August 2022, we will launch an official Afrofest in Moncton.
Oh
And
wow!
that will happen every year, every year. And we will do it like professionally. We will put like everybody, we will try to put like the light on mainly our Black people here, like our Black people who do like anything cultural. We will put it here, and then we will go like around Nova Scotia, PEI, this kind of stuff. But we want to like first give power to our people here, and then like go search outside and make it big, because like we have like Mosaic, Acadie Rock, 15 Août. We have like every time we have like a festival happen like every year in Moncton. But the thing is, those festivals, they don't really call us as a Black community because there's not really like a big stuff to our community. But if you have like an Afrofest or something look really close to Afrofest for our community here, I think that will change something for our
Yeah,
community.
I think so too. I think it's a matter of representation. I guess like
Exactly.
I'm not gonna say like Acadie Rock is a good example. Acadie Rock is a very French Acadian side that people that it's like an alternative side, but they also have like the Acadian Festival and Acadian Day, and
Exactly.
you know, as much as you know, shout out to them, that's amazing. But I mean, yeah, they could put maybe a one black or two artists, but it doesn't really represent the community
Exactly.
that
But
is here.
they still try though. They still try because
Yeah,
I remember they bring like I think he's a Tikenja. Anyways, they bring like one big artist from Senegal here, and they still try. But the thing is, you know, if us and is something that do you know Mama Philomen?
yeah, of course. Sullivan Tango, yeah.
Exactly. Mama Philomen, one day I told her that I think that like white people, Moncton University don't do anything against racism. And she told me, I'm just gonna give you that example, Fidel. I come to your place and I'm hungry, but I'm not telling you anything. How would you know that I'm hungry? You can't. I have to, me, it's me who living the situation, it's me who are in that problem. So it's for me, my role is to put out the problem and fight to make it a real problem. So it's the same thing that I'm doing right now for the Afrofest. And I say like, yes, those people can be like Academy Rock, can be Kings Oath. They are doing stuff that matter to them. So us as me as Black people, I have to do something who's matter for me, for my community here, and for everybody here.
Yeah, and that's what I said. That's very important. And again, you're right. A lot of them try. Mosaic does, you know, like they try their best, but it's not. Again, it's like you said, like it's not a matter of like people try. It's like if we as a community don't do it, then why are we expecting anybody else to do it, right? Like or to work
Exactly.
perfectly. So that's definitely an understanding. Now I want to go back because again we could talk hours about this. I want to go back that you said you had some problems with anxiety and depression. How did that came out? How did you get out of that?
Oh, it's music. It's music and meeting. Like what happened is I was, for me specifically, I was the only one Black in biology. Like in my in my cohort, it my group, the 2013 group, I was the only one Black. So I didn't really have anybody to talk to or to chill with, like at school or something like that. And when I finish every time class, I'm every time in my residence alone there. So I start with a big depression. I start like some night I can just be there like crying because I, I'm just like, what I'm doing here. My family is Africa and I'm here alone. And music, the fact that I start playing music and being a DJ, at least I know for sure that every weekend I'm going to be outside playing music, seeing people, meeting people, shaking hand, giving like a punch, you know. So that really helped me with my stress, anxiety. So is that why I can't leave music anymore because it's like my juice.
So it is like it's like a cure for something.
Exactly. It's like it was a big cure for me because it helped me go see people, meet people, and talk about like depression, talk about like a different subject, but put me out of that environment where I was like sad every time and didn't want to do anything.
Oh wow, yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming that COVID hit you a little bit hard because of that as well, because you couldn't.
Yes, COVID kicked me really hard. But the good stuff is with the music, like I start as a DJ. Now I become like I'm producing music, and that's gonna be crazy. But in Africa, it was most like hip hop Afro before me to come here. It's here I met like electronic house or deep house, everything. But I just feel like some energy with this type of music. Like when I have like the drop, all this, like I just feel something. And during the COVID time, I produce a lot of music. I make a lot of my own house music. And last December, I went to Africa and I talked with a different producer, and we're gonna make a prod, an African prod, like a a deep house prod that we will like put on TV. So we are working on it right now.
Oh, that's pretty dope. So, one last question. If you could tell something to the Murat that just landed on the plane to Canada, what would you tell him?
Hmm. I will say honestly, enjoy enjoy as much as you can. Enjoy, like take everything and eat it, like enjoy, because me, I didn't. I was, as I told you, with the depression, I was a lot on the break. And from 2013 to 2000, I would say like 14, 15, I was a lot on depression. And the music who will like help me get out of that spiral. So I would say like for the Moura who come on 2013, like find one way to just deal with that depression stuff early enough to enjoy all this time. Because now, before, I didn't have to stress about like paying like the rent, paying food, because I receive every month money. But now I have to pay the rent, I have to pay the mortgage, pay the electricity, pay the food, do this, do that. So yes, I will tell that Murat to enjoy as much as possible before now.
Wow, yeah, you're a responsible adult now. Welcome to
Yes.
adulthood. All right, so if people want to find you and the work that you do, where can they go to?
Oh, they can just put like DJ Mobaus on Facebook, and they're just gonna see like my Facebook page. I'm going to put out like an Afro mix for this Black Historic Month, and yeah, or Mour Debadir on Facebook. Yes, and they can find me like really easy.
All right, so it definitely was a pleasure talking to you. I definitely look forward to hear your work, and the future looks bright. So I definitely hope so.
Finger crossed.
Yeah, if you again, if you ever need any help, this platform is available to you for wherever you need. We think it's important to reflect work. And so for people that are hearing us, please like and subscribe. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on social media on Facebook and Twitter at Black in the Maritimes, or just go to our website, blackinthemaritimes.com. Thank you and peace out.